Hello everyone. I hope you all are doing great and enjoying your learning journey, isn't it? I hope you have seen the shorts and you might be getting curious to know more about it. So, welcome to Next Gen Science. We are extremely excited to announce that from today we are starting with our biology basic series. Yes, you heard it correct. मुझे बहुत खुशी हो रही है बताते हुए कि आज से हम different chapters from various boards like ICSE, CBSE, Cambridge etc. के chapters के conceptual videos की series upload करेंगे. And in this series, our focus will be on building strong basic concepts of every chapter, because I believe that when your concepts are clear, any chapter, be it any subject or any chapter, it becomes very interesting and easy to remember. Otherwise, once you lose your interest, then eventually you start feeling as if it is a burden, right? So on Next Gen Science, you will find detailed biology lectures of conceptual videos, basically conceptual videos of different chapters, right? Then chemistry shorts, everyday science, discoveries, current affairs. Yes, tomorrow is Sunday, so you'll be seeing some video about current affairs also. Research based concepts, exam preparation tips. If you feel somewhere down the line, if you're feeling nervous for whichever exam you're preparing, and if you need some kind of doubt clarification, so you can mail us on chemistry biology facts 2511@gmail.com. We'll be holding live sessions also for experiments, fun science, Zoom sessions on which you can talk to us and clarify your doubts. So everything here you will find it on Next Gen Science. Our aim is not only to help you score well in examinations but also help you to truly understand science. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है ना कि हम बहुत एडवांस स्टडी करते हैं बट हमारे बेसिक्स हम भूल जाते हैं बिकॉज वी डोंट गेट टाइम एंड वो टच छूट जाता है, रिविजन करने का टाइम नहीं मिलता है. सो दिस इज़ द प्लेटफॉर्म वेयर यू कैन लॉग इन एंड यू कैन फाइंड different chapters, concepts at one place, so it will be easier for you to brush up your concepts. So if you're excited to learn biology in a simple and conceptual way, don't forget to subscribe our channel and become a part of the Next Gen Science family. Also, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, where we'll be posting about our latest live sessions. We'll be sharing links for the Zoom session and live sessions also. So let us quickly start with the interesting topic for today. And the shorts you might have already seen about the cell cycle, right? The cell cycle and cell division. Have you ever wondered how a tiny baby grows into an adult, or how a small cut on your hand heals within few days? Basically, the answer is simply cell division. But before a cell divides, it has to prepare itself. That preparation, that sequential events that happen in a particular cell cycle, that is called as that sequential events that happen in a cell division, that is called as cell cycle. So let us understand it step by step, and before we move ahead, let us understand what is a cell, right? What is a cell? Like we already know, a cell is the basic cell is the basic unit of life. Cell is the basic unit of life. You can call it as a structural and functional unit of life. And you might have seen around that every organism, whether it is a bacteria, a plant, or a human being, it is all made up of one or more cells. It can be unicellular or multicellular. And cells perform various processes. They perform all the essential life processes like growth, repair, respiration, and much more, right? So now the question is, where do new cells come from? And the answer is very simple. New cells are formed from pre-existing cells through the process of cell division. So basically, the new cells form from the pre-existing cell from the process called cell division. And why do cells have to divide? Like we have just now talked about the ways, like particular reasons why the cells, what are the cells important for? The growth, right? The growth. And they also need to divide for of repair of damaged tissues. Remember these keywords, right? Repair of damaged tissues. Then for replacement of old and worn out cells, replacement of old and worn out is the keyword, right? Worn out cells. Whenever a cell need to be replaced, any old worn out cell is there, damaged cell is there, for that replacement new cells are formed. And reproduction, of course. So before dividing, every cell undergoes a well organized sequence of events, and that sequence of events is called as the cell cycle. All right. I hope I'm clear that the sequence, the coordinated sequence of events by which a cell divides is its genomes. That is called as the cell cycle. Clear? All right. So now what is a cell cycle? So sequence of events that takes place from the formation of a cell until it divides to form two daughter cells. That is a cell cycle. Now what are the phases in the cell cycle? Basically, there are two phases. One is the interphase. There are two major phases that we will study today. Basically, we will talk about the interphase, and the second one is the M phase, which is also called as the division phase. All right, M phase, that is the division phase. And interestingly, that almost 90% of the cell's life is spent in interphase, right? But it is actually one of the busiest phases of the cell's entire cell cycle. Some students think that it is just a resting phase. It is not like that. It is one of the busiest phases of the entire cell cycle. And interphase prepare the cell for cell division. There are three stages in interphase that we will talk about right now: G1 phase, S phase, and this G2 phase. Now, all of these phases are preparing the cell for the cell division, that is M phase. Now, what all preparation happens? Synthesizing proteins required during cell division, replication of DNA molecules, forming daughter chromatids from DNA and histones. That all happens in these particular stages. All these keywords you will find it in the description box also. So पूरा video end तक देखें और उसके बाद you can check the description box to revise with the keywords, right? Now interphase is divided into three phases. That is, one is the G1 phase, that is written here, which is known as the growth phase 1, right? Which is known as the growth phase 1, or you can call it also as the gap phase. That is G1 phase, growth phase, or gap phase 1. This is the first stage of the interphase, and the name also going to suggest that this phase is the phase of active growth. This is the phase of active growth, where the young daughter cells grows in size. The cell is actively synthesizes RNA and proteins. Cell organelles increase in number. The cell performs its normal metabolic activities, but the most important things that you need to remember is that DNA replication does not happen in this particular stage. DNA replication does not happen. I'll repeat this point, that during G1 phase, DNA replication does not occur. Therefore, DNA content, whatever the content is there in DNA, that remains unchanged. DNA content remains unchanged, right? DNA content remains unchanged. And another important point is that this is the longest and the most variable phase of the cell cycle. Now, suppose if a cell does not require to divide, now there is no longer division, no longer need to divide. So in that particular case, instead of moving to the next stage, it exits the cell cycle and enters a resting phase, which is called as the quiescent stage or G0 phase. That is, some cells exit the cycle to remain metabolically active, but they do not need to require to divide, right? No longer requirement for division is there. So in that case, some cells enter into the G0 phase. If there is requirement for division later on, they may re-enter into the G1 phase, and then particularly they will follow the other processes, but some others will permanently remain into the G0 phase. Then comes the next phase, that is called as the Synthesis phase. Synthesis. Synthesis phase, the word S stands for synthesis, and this is one of the most important phases again. Why? Because here the DNA replication will happen. DNA replication happens. This is for this I'm writing for synthesis phase, right? DNA replication happens and histone proteins are also synthesized. Now the moment I took the name histone, which is the most important word actually, you might be wondering what are histones. So basically histones are special proteins around which DNA gets tightly wrapped. मतलब आप ऐसे समझ लो कि एक थ्रेड है जिसको एक छोटी सी स्पेस चाहिए अपने आप को पैकेज करने के लिए. So that histones are those special proteins that help in packaging the long DNA molecule into a compact structure inside the nucleus. So you can imagine them as tiny spools around which the long thread like DNA is wound. You can also, I'll be also posting a very interesting YouTube shorts about the same, which will the link will be there in the end of the video. You can check, you can click on the link. Also you can check in the description box. So histone proteins help in packaging the newly formed DNA, and after the DNA replication, now each chromosome consists of two identical sister chromatids joined by a central centromere. About you will find it, so the centromere here, and you will find another shots for the same. You can check the description box. Now the chromosome number, the interesting thing that you can remember is that the chromosome number remains the same, right? In the entire process, the chromosome number the chromosome number remains same. All right, only what happens here, the DNA content is doubled in S phase. Now comes the G2 phase, that is the final stage of interphase, and here the cell will accumulate proteins, RNA, and other materials required for cell division. Now, by the end of the G2 phase, the cell is fully ready to undergo division. And during this phase, after complete interphase, the cell will enter the division phase. The cell will enter into division phase, and here during this phase one parent cell divides to form genetically identical daughter cells, and the division phase consists of two major events that we will be talking about in our next class, that is karyokinesis and the second one is cytokinesis. Now, karyokinesis is the division of the nucleus, and cytokinesis is the division of the cytoplasm. So don't worry, we'll do about it again. So here I'll just summarize quickly about the three phases. That is G1 phase, that is metabolically active, continuous growth will happen, but DNA is not replicating in this phase. That is S phase, this is the critical phase because DNA replication happens. So you can see the DNA content from 2C it is now to 4, it is just doubled. And but the chromosome number is the same, right? You can see that the chromosome number is same. G2 phase, that is protein synthesis in preparation of mitosis, cell growth will continue, and finally the cell will enter into the division phase, which will have two phases that we'll be talking about in the next session. But I hope till here it was clear to you, and the video doesn't end here. You will be having two interesting shots. Go through that, and if in case you have any queries, you can mail us on chemistrybiologyfacts2511@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook, where we'll be posting about our quizzes, the live sessions, and also about the Zoom sessions that I was talking about. So with this, we end this video, but the journey will not end here. You can always log into the channel and you can go through various other facts that we will be posting on our channel. So see you till the next time. Take care and continue to learn with full interest.